All right, so hello everyone. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I have missed you guys. It was a super busy summer, and I know that everyone was crazy busy. And then we thought we were going to restart last month, and then we saw everybody's posts about homeschooling for the first time, and we decided to push it out a little bit further. So today we are going to go over how to create a Google form and how to add it to your sync website. Um, there's a lot of different types of Google Forms that you can create. Like the ones that I have handy are like a CMA request and then a sort of a referral, like a lead capture for brokers who are interested in joining us. So when you make your Google form, think about who you're trying to target. So if you're making a form about like a CMA request, for example, what's the bare bones data that you would want and need to give them something where you could reply to them accurately, or at least mostly accurately, and kind of knock their socks off. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, cool. Can you guys see
You
my
can.
messy desktop? All right, so let's go here. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to hide you guys. So on Google, I'm already signed in, but if you're not signed in, sign in up here. If you hit this, I call it the waffle, it's all the Google apps. You'll see a bunch here, but you probably won't see Google Forms just because they're not crazy popular yet. I think there's something that is probably going to become more popular as time goes on, mostly because Google is the all-seeing eye of Sauron of the internet. Like Google is the deity of the internet. Google loves finding results on other Google products. So if someone was to type in keywords that would link them to your website and then they filled out a Google form, like that is something that could benefit your SEO, not the person's response to the form, but just the questions you have on the form itself. Google can read that. So for example, like if we go to Instagram and let's see. So Rhonda posted this, and if this had words on it, Google couldn't read it. Google would only see this as a big black X, and Google can only read your caption, which is why captions are so important for keywords. So I think having a list of keywords that you keep across all of your branding, so all of your social, your bio, on your website, on anything you send out via Google, all of that can help appease Google to improve your SEO. So I'm going to go back to the waffle and I'm going to go down to more from Google. And you will see that Google is terrifyingly huge and they own a bunch of amazing products. So I'm going to scroll down. Ta-da. And see this purple link or this purple sheet? That is the forms icon. So click there. And then I know that Google Business, it says Google Workspace. This is really more for like us as an office than it would be for you as an individual broker. If you hire an assistant or you're working on a team with a couple people, I think it could be worth looking into Google Workspace. But for now, you can just stick with personal and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to hit go to Google Forms. And then they have a couple different options for you to pick from. I always start blank because I think it's easier than messing around with all this pre-filled out stuff. You can see a couple different ones that I've made in the past. Each of these are ones that I've created, but then I've rebranded them for whoever I'm sharing them with. So for example, Deidre was actually the reason I made this form. She had a client that wasn't super tech savvy, and we wanted something that we could send to them and like embed in an email where they could just fill out this information, and then we'd be able to give them sort of a good broker price opinion CMA sort of thing. So there's a lot of different options for customization. So since I technically created this form, I'm sharing it with Deidre. So if she's got responses in here, I would be able to see the responses. I just want to let you guys know that Isaac and I are never going to touch your leads that come in from this or from your website. That is entirely yours. We don't take a cut or anything. We're just here to help. So on here, I created this in Canva, but if you ask me for something like, hey, I want a Google form about, interested in like a caravan tour of open houses on a Sunday or something. I'm thinking post-COVID, but you could create like a title that matches that. You want to make sure you've got your name in it. And then I'll create like, I don't know, something with a bus on it or a car that talks about the caravan and obviously is branded because it's still in advertising. So I'm gonna go back. And I'm going to start by opening a blank form. So the first thing I do whenever I'm creating something is make it look pretty. Like as soon as it looks pretty, then I feel like I can flesh it out. So I'm going to go up here to customize theme. And then this is where you can choose that header that I was talking about. So if you asked me for the caravan one and I sent it to you, I'll make sure that it's the right size for the Google form, just because you don't want it to be distorted at all. But you would choose image, and then you would go up here to upload, and then you could either drag and drop your file, or you could browse it and look in your downloads folder. So theme color, you can actually go here to add custom color. And you're like, oh my God, I want it to be the Realty One Group Gold, but I have no idea what that color code is. So we're going to open up a new window and go to branding.realtyonegroup.com. And you can always ask me for this link. This is this is a public site. So this is something where if you're getting signs printed or you're having someone take over your marketing and you want to make sure that they have everything that Realty One Group offers to you, you can send them here. So information about logo usage, social assets, this is like posts and stuff, video library, affiliates, this is where you'd go to get your turnkey logos. So if you wanted to download that, you would just go here and then it says affiliate name, you hit turnkey. But for now, I'm going to go to styling resources. I'm going to scroll down. And then it shows you the white, the black, and the gold color. And then here's the hex number. And of course, it's not going to copy, so I'm going to write it down. C5A, 5B. I think since it's a PNG or something that they've got here, you can't highlight it. But I'm going to go back to the form. And I'm going to do number C5A95E. Bam. And then hit add. And suddenly I've got the gold color I was looking for. Then you can choose the different background colors. I think this one's a little gross, but I like this one, and I think this one looks good too. And then for font style, you can pick the different types of fonts. I think basic is probably the closest to the Museo Sans family, which is the Realty One Group fonts, which you can also find over here. But if you want to do decorative, if you think that looks good, please don't do playful because you're not a kindergarten teacher. You want to keep it looking professional. So, all right, so I've got my themes figured out there, feeling good about that. So first things first is I'm going to title the form. So I'm going to leave this up to you guys. What do you guys want to, what do you think we should have as this kind of form?
Like a new form idea?
Mm-hmm.
What about a buyer? I walked out of the room for like 30 seconds, so if you already mentioned this, and I'm sorry, but like a buyer packet. Sorry, a buyer form. Like, what are you looking for in a home type form?
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So we'll say buyer desires. All right, so it'll title it here for you, and then you want to give the form a description. This is where you want to keep it sort of caption related. You want to keep it keyword heavy because this is going to correlate with your SEO. So, I don't know, we'll say Isaac Schaefer loves helping his clients find their perfect home please fill out this quick form to tell it to So in here, I put home, I put house, I put Isaac Schaefer. It sounds a little janky, but obviously if I was thinking this out more, I'd make this sound a little better, but this will work for now. So as far as this little red asterisk, you always want that there for email addresses because that is how you are going to collect responses. Obviously, if someone fills this out and doesn't fill out an email address, it's not much help. So we're going to leave that there. And then we're going to start by just clicking here. So you have a couple different options as far as choices. So we'll say, what counties are you interested in putting in? And then we'll have multiple choice or check boxes or drop down or short answer or paragraph. This kind of question to me sounds like check boxes because I'm only going to put the areas that Isaac would be serving. So I'll do Pierce County, King County, Kitsap County. Okay, and then we'll call that good. And then you can go down here to required and turn it on or off. So if you're really wanting a response from someone like, are you pre-qualified for this home? Are you interested in learning more about financing for this home? That might be a required option, but this one might not be required if you create a second question that's more about cities. So you can either duplicate this question, you can delete it, you can change the type of answers people can select. You can add a picture here if you want. Again, if you want it super, super branded, like if you wanted a picture, like Danny, I know really focuses on Sumner. I could put like a picture of Sumner at the top here or something, just as like a gentle influence to set the mood of the question. But I'm just going to leave this one and then hit add question. And then again, I'm going to change it from multiple choice to check boxes. And then I'll say, what cities are you interested in? Say Tacoma, Carver. I don't know. So we'll just do a couple here, but you can pick as many as you want. And then I like the check boxes because then your client can pick as many as they want. So if you did a new question and we said multiple choice, you could say like, do you have financing? You can, and then it comes up with suggestions sometimes. That's helpful. So yes, no, maybe. I probably wouldn't put maybe, but you could say I'm interested in learning more. And then we'd make that one a required question. If you add a new question and you want to do like a short answer or a paragraph. So short answer could be like, what are your top 3 things you want in a home? That way, if one of your questions didn't answer it for them, you're giving them a chance to fill it out here. But over here on the side, there's a couple different options. So you can import questions. I don't really know where you would do that from. It sounds like more work to me than maybe having a list that you go through and then create the questions for, just because you might have to change the formatting of like checkbox versus the selection, etc. But you can add images, add video, you can add a new section. So if I wanted to add a new section, that would come after this other one. So maybe I would have this one as the interested areas, and then I would pull this guy down to, or here, I'll pull the financing question down here, and we'll put this as like finances to buy or something. Does that make sense? So you can pick them up and move them around. So if you wanted to do cities instead of counties, you can do it like that. You can add as many sections as you want. Pretty easy, right? It's pretty straightforward. So from here, you can preview what the form is going to look like. So this is what the link looks like. So if you sent it to someone, this is what they would see. So what I'm going to do is if I was sharing this one, I would go to send. And then you want to make sure this is checked, the collect email addresses. But then you can email this directly to someone. You can change the subject. And since it's connected to your Gmail account, it will be in your Gmail account as a sent message. So you can change what it says here. Subject is the same as any subject line in an email. You can include the form in an email if you think that sending this directly, if it comes from like Google, you think your client might be like, oh, it's spam. Like you can include the form in an email and send it to them directly there. You can send it via Facebook. You can send it via Twitter. So these little icons, the envelope obviously means sending via email. The little chain link means the link. And then these little in between arrows mean embedding. So this form is a little bit janky. I'm not going to share this one, but I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to go to my Google Drive, which you're also going to have to forgive me for how messy it is. And then I will do some more search tools. And then I'll just do types forms and hit search to see what I've got in here. So buyer desires, listing your home. I think I have a listing your home with Team Tuttle. Perfect. Okay. So this is one that I made that I can actually just copy and paste and send to you guys. You guys are welcome to edit it yourself. And like, if you don't like some of the questions or you think they're unnecessary, we can change them pretty easily. But I'm going to go up here to send, and I'm going to go to this embed. And then this is where I'm going to find the information that I'm going to drop into the website. So I'm going to show you guys an example. So Shauna Tryon had me help her with her website. So I created this photo for the background. These are all the houses she sold. We changed the format, so she's up here in the front. And then we pinned her featured listings of houses that she's trying to sell. And then we pinned her souls that she was the listing agent or the buying agent on. So you have a couple different options on your sync website, but over here, you can see where it says CMA request. And if I click that, oh, sorry. Come on. There we go. So once I click that, you can see that basically the same form I created for Craig is here embedded in Shauna's website. So this is what it's going to look like on the Team Tuttle site. So I labeled it this. We've got it the same form that I just dropped in here. You can see that it shows your clients the progression through the form, which I think is good because I think people get tired after a certain point and just stop filling stuff out. But close that. So I'm going to start by going to the one login. And I'm signed in as Craig is already because he's the website that I'm changing today. But you would sign in, and then if you can't see sync here on your frequents, you can go over to My Apps Everything. And if you don't see it there, it might be because just click this little caret. I think it starts by saying your app's core, which I don't know if sync is on here. But if you hit everything, there it is. So I'm going to click sync. I'm going to pause you guys and get a drink of water. Okay, so single sign-on. So I just signed in. You can see that I'm signed in as Craig. So I'm going to click here on my website, which is going to take me to teamtuttle.myrealty1group.com. So if you haven't checked out your website, it's just your zone name. So like Sarah Brannon would be sarahbrannon.myrealty1group.com. So this is Craig's site. That's his new listing. You can see that I changed the background here for him. I can do that stuff for you too. Pinned his most expensive listings and then his solds up here. So it's looking good, but I really want to add the CMA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by clicking this little plus sign. So I know sync's not super intuitive. So if you get lost on any of this, feel free to reach out to Sarah Brannon and I. both of us are getting more experienced with sync, and we're happy to help you troubleshoot and get it figured out. I'm going to go here to the plus, and it's going to say navigator item. So these are all your navigator items. If you see the little crossed out eye, that means it is showing. And then if you see the eye, it means it isn't showing. I know that's super weird, but you can see like right here, it looks like the eye is open, and it's because I turned off the contact us. And so if you click on it to edit it, it'll say like, do you want to turn on contact us? Which I don't, because he's got his contact me and his phone number here. I think it's excessive. So I'm going to click here on the plus and do navigator item, and I am going to call this one CMA request. And I am going to have it open as a page, and I want it to be probably property search, mortgage calculator. I'm going to put it after mortgage calculator. So I'm going to hit add. Boom. So up at the top here, you can see that it says CMA request. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to these three dots where it says settings, and then I'm going to click new page. So when I click new page, this is going to be the link. So it'll be teamtuttle.myrealty1group.com / and then whatever I name this page. So I'm going to call it CMA request. And then the page heading, I'm going to say, ask Team Tuttle, or maybe I'll just keep CMA request. And then here, Team Tuttle, CMA request, and then page description, ask Team Tuttle what your home is worth by filling out this quick form. Okay. And then for page layout, I know that this one looks like a form, but that's creating a form in sync. So you in sync. So instead of that, you want to click just this blank guy. So I'm going to hit create. Okay. And then there's all this weird Latin. So I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to go back over here to the Google form, and I'm going to embed this link. So I'm going to copy that. So you can either hit Control-C, you can right click and hit copy, or you can hit copy here. I go back to Team Tuttle, and to edit, all you have to do is click in somewhere in this area. So click on some of the weird Latin. I'm going to Control-All, delete it. And then right now, this is the formatting bar. I like everything to be centered. So I'm hitting the center here. And then I'm just going to hit paste, or Control-V, or right click and hit paste. And you'll see that it's got the iframe, and it's got these little carets on the beginning and end showing you that it's embedded. So after that, I'm going to go back up to settings, and I'm going to hit save. And you're like, cool, it's live. It's not. So from here, after you hit save, you click back on the settings, and then you hit publish. Okay, so now it exists. So you can see teamtuttle.myrealty1group.com /CMA request. So if Craig wants to send this out to people and he doesn't want to do it via the Google form for some reason, he can also send people this link directly. So I'm going to go up here to CMA request on the navigator bar, and I'm going to click new. And then I'm going to label it CMA request. And then if you click here to pages, it'll give you the option of the pages you've created. So I created a join ROGTK page, which is under Brokers Learned More. And then we just created that CMA request page. So I'm going to click that. And after first, open type native looks good. So I'm going to hit add. So now when I go to CMA request and I click it, it has linked the form and the page to this navigator item. So then you make sure that everything looks published. If it's not published, it'll be over here with one check mark next to it, but then you're good. So then before you sign out, always make sure to clear the website cache and log out. I don't know why Sync requires that, but it's a good thing to do. So you just do that and you are all set. And that's the show, everybody.
Robin, would you agree it's best to send the link to the website to draw traffic to your website as opposed to sending it out of Google?
Yeah,
Like,
you could totally do that. I think, I don't know how successful any of that is going to be, just because I think people, it depends on your audience, right?
Right.
Like if you have someone who is not super tech savvy, who is afraid of unknown links, it might be easier just to embed the form in an email to them so they can just fill it out that way. If you are trying to drive traffic to your site, I would pick the website link from your site and then put that on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. I want to do another Tech Tuesday about Linktree, and we can talk about having a couple links within your website as if they're individual links to draw more traffic to your website as well.
Can you embed those? Can you embed those forms into a text?
I don't know.
Or would you just send the website link?
I'd probably send the website link. I don't.
And mobile friendly.
I don't know. Yeah, if the phone is going to be like via text is going to be very friendly. But after we're off this call, I will send everybody a recap email and I will text Andrew Helgeson the form and see if it works.
I will say Sync does make a major effort to make their websites mobile friendly. Like that's one thing they do well. There's other things that, are lacking, just like every website. Some things well and some things not as well. But their mobile, the way the websites show up on a phone is actually really good, which is tough.
Well, I saw that the form itself is skinny like it would be on your phone. So possibly just sending them the link to the website, direct that CMA URL would give them, they'd open that and it'd be mobile friendly for that form immediately.
Right.
Let's see. So you can control when you embed it. It looks like you can control the width and height. So I'm going to see. Andrew.
The other reason I would send the website as opposed to just the link is the website looks really professional. And what you've done to Craig's website, I don't know, Robin, how many hours do you think you've spent on it?
On Craig's website?
Yeah.
An hour.
Right. And that website looked awesome. That's, again, another thing Sync does really, really well. Their website is super, super easy to make look really awesome. So anyways, that's another reason I would do that, especially if it's a client who you're, trying to get their business. Leading with a website's like a resume, right? We're not going to compete with Redfin or Zillow on website capability. Like, let's be honest, everyone's searching on Redfin or Zillow when it comes to searching for a home. But one thing that a website does do is it shows that you're legit. You're someone who takes pride in your marketing and your online presence. And so that's another reason why I would send, if it's someone who is, capable in regards to, technology. I think it makes sense to send the website. It's just because it looks, that website that you've done for Craig looks so nice, and it only took you an hour. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like learning to ride a bike, right? Sync is sort of similar, where like once you get to know the ins and outs of how it works, it's pretty easy to tweak. So here, I'll share my screen again.
Hey, Robin, can I throw something out there about changing the width and height to something that's fixed? It's one of the few things I remember from learning how to code HTML. If you make it fixed, then it doesn't translate to different screens as well. So you want to leave that so that it can change sizes.
That makes sense. I think also, sort of off of that point, if you are going to change the size of anything, keep it proportionate. So if you're reducing one side by a quarter, make sure you're reducing the other side by a quarter. Like keep it within the original proportions, even if you scale it down. But yeah, this is our turnkey website. I don't have our featured solds on here, but you can do so much on here. So here, let me go back to sign elf. I'm going to sign in via one again. Or here, we'll just go to Craig so I can show you. So Danny, I saw that you were asking about pinning your solds and stuff. So I'll show you guys how to do that really fast. Just because sync is it's not super user friendly, I think, if you're not super tech savvy, but after you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to change stuff.
Well, and let me just, you're correct, but let me just say something in regards to that. It's not something that takes a huge, you don't have to learn how HTML works to get good at sync. You have to learn how sync works, which is not complicated. So don't get overwhelmed. If this meeting was overwhelming for you, just set up a Zoom meeting with Robin or Sarah, and they will really slow it down for you and help you out as long as you need. But honestly, I hate website stuff. It's like so not enjoyable for me. But when I try to learn it, it's not difficult. It's really simple. So yeah.
So Danny, up here are going to be kind of your two areas to know. So there's right now it says hi team, but that's because the username is teamtel. So it's over here, and then it's also these three little dots. So if you click here, this is where you can manage your featured listings and your sold properties. So if I do sold properties, for example, you can either search and then pin them, or over here you can do my solds first, recently sold properties first, or price high to low. Right now we're trying to sort of orient Craig in more of a luxury feel. So I did price high to low. So you can see the different properties that Craig has sold across his career, from most expensive to least expensive. You can also go here or go over here, and this is where, biscuits. Go back to the home site and then click here. And then you can click manage banner. So your banner is, I think it's 1980 by 800 pixels. So that's a dimension you can find, or you can create in Canva. So I might change this. I just put it on here today because I wanted the site to look a little better, but there's a lot of this blocking the house. You can change your website settings by changing the layout. So over here, this is stuff we'll go into it on another Tech Tuesday if you guys want, like inserting a Facebook pixel ID or a Google analytics tracking code. Those are both things I use for our office page. But you can click layout. It'll load in a second. And then you can see the different types of layouts. So I think maybe this one might be a better choice. There we go. I like that better. So up at the top, you can see now there's all of Craig's information. And if you scroll down, you'll find more of it in here too. I don't love that all of the socials aren't popping up here, but it's one of those things that I can't change the layout too much. I can only sort of pick from these options. Let's see.
But when you did the sold listings, you literally just put in the MLS number of us as an agent. You don't have to go find every listing we sold's MLS.
You do have to find the listing we sold MLS.
Okay. So, that makes sense. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, so it is connected to your MLS account, right? So obviously, like here, it wouldn't have pulled Craig's listings. Like this is his, this is our offices. Like this is Kim McCartney and this is Deanna Franklin's. But it pulled it because in our zone, I have Craig's license and MLS number added in zone. And I've done that for all of our brokers actually. So it should pull up all of our office, and then you can pick your specific ones as well.
Okay, I'll mess with it. Let's see if I can.
And that's something too, darling, like you can't break it.
Okay.
Like if you don't like the way it looks, if you think there's something wrong with it, if you want to change it, like it's easy for me to do that. So just reach out and I'm happy to help. All right, guys, you feeling good?
That was awesome. Really appreciate it, Robin.
Got homework.
Thank you, Robin.
Yes,
Thank you guys. I'm excited to see you again this week on Thursday for Isaac's Rev Up. I am so hyped about that. That is going to be the next 12 weeks. So we're starting Thursday. We're going to go every Thursday through the rest of the year, except for I think Christmas Eve, because we don't go that hard. But I'll be sending you guys a recap email about this, and then I'll also be sending you guys information about Rev Up so we can get that started too. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Good class.
All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.